Good morning and welcome again to another Making Mondays Matter. It is a beautiful Monday morning here in Barbados. Beautiful bank holiday Monday morning. I know for many around the world, whether it's a bank holiday or not, it's not really of any major consequence as many of us are homebound today because of all that is occurring within our various jurisdictions. I want to share with us this morning on the subject of staying focused on your goals, even in the midst of a crisis. This thought came out of listening to Prime Minister Mia Mottley over the weekend when she was encouraging the nation and sharing with the nation some of the things that we would need to go through and are going through, and some of the plans that are in place to help us get out the other side. And during her presentation, she made the comment that we need to remain focused in the middle of a crisis. And that resonated with me over the weekend, even as I shared with others uh, around church and on Saturday on some of the things that we have to do as individuals and also as a nation if we are going to get through this particular period. And indeed, it's just a period. Whether it turns out to be longer or shorter than anticipated, in the end, it will end. And we need to have a plan as to what we are going to do when that happens, if we are going to make the most of it. And so we need to keep focus on what it is that we are seeking to achieve at the end of this particular episode in our lives. I know my biker friends would often say you need to look where you want to go and not where you don't want to go. And this came out of a conversation, this is years ago, speaking to a biker friend of mine as it relates to overtaking and passing between large vehicles. And he often said, you don't watch the vehicle per se, you look at the gap that you want to go through. And it makes so much sense. And my other biker friends can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've also heard it said within the biking community that your body follows your head. And that may be a physical attribute, but it's also a psychological and an emotional attribute. Where your headspace is at, where your mind is at, that is where you will end up. So if we spend all our energy and time focusing on what's wrong, we would only be existing in what's wrong. Let's focus on what could be and what do we want to occur. And let's make it happen. Let's go after it. Let's focus on it. Because as George Lucas would tell us that the things that we focus on becomes our reality. And so let our reality be a positive reality, one that we would be proud of in the end. And so I want to encourage us this morning that as we go through this period, let's start to think of what it is that we want coming out the other end, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's community, national. What is it that you want to see happening on the other side? And then what can you do now in preparation for that new reality? And indeed, as I said earlier last week in one of my other posts, it will be a new normal when we come out of COVID 19. So it's not going back to what we had pre COVID 19. It will be a new order. And so we need to be prepared to face that order also. So let's not be discouraged. Let's continue to look forward and let's focus on the goal. Don't be too taken up with what's happening around us. We know that Jesus would have said this to his disciples when he was in the boat and they were going through the storm. The disciples were worried about the storm, and Jesus had to ask them, but I'm here with you. Why are you so fearful? Focus on the solution. And he was the solution for them then, and he still is the solution for us now. And so we need to focus on our solutions as we also go forward. Not so much the problems. Much of the problems we can't do a lot about at this time, but we can certainly make a difference as it relates to the solution going forward and how we are prepared to take advantage. So until next Monday, I just want to wish you a great week and continue to put yourself in the position to succeed. This is David Ains for Making Mondays Matter from Living Successfully Inc.